What's up everybody, Dash here, and today with me I have a very special guest. He is the director of the upcoming film that everyone is anticipating. It is Fly By Night, and with me is director Zahir Omar. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Yes, I've been looking forward to interview you for a very long time actually. Yeah, because honestly I saw the trailer. Actually, the first trailer dropped last year, I think.
Yeah.
But since then, it has been over a year, and then finally we've been getting more and more updates.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss all about that later. But now, because other than people in the industry, not many people know who you are yet.
Right.
But they will after this movie. But as for now, nobody really knows who you are. So let's talk about who you are. At which point in your life, how were you as a kid? At which point in your life did you fall in love with film?
Oh man, it goes way back. It goes. My whole family works in production. My dad is a commercial film director. My mom is a makeup artist.
Okay.
My uncle's a DOP. So yada. And then, so when I was younger, they didn't have maids or anything back then.
Right.
So they did, but it wasn't like a full-time thing and all. And because my parents were working in production, they always have to go for shoots.
Yeah.
So they leave me a stack of VHS movies, and then I'll just sit in front of the TV and just watch movies until finally I understood film language.
Yeah.
And then as I grew older, I was a bit of a rascal. So every time I got in trouble at school, I'd go to the studio, clean the C-stand, clean the toilets and shit like that. This whole time, at the same time, my dad saying don't join advertising lah, don't join production lah. You really want to do this hard work.
Yeah.
And I was like, the minute he said, don't do it, then I went and did it lah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But that comes later. At which point did you, because although you come from a production family who are people who are in the industry, but it's like you said, it's like that whole Asian thing where you shouldn't go into production, and you kind of sort of understand that, because unlike in the US at that time especially, there was no industry to even filmmaking industry. What the hell is that even? But so how did you decide, screw it, I'm gonna do this?
So then I went on to work in production separately from my dad.
Okay.
And then but I think if you want to say specifically when that point was that I decided I want to do movies, it was 1997.
How old were you at this point?
I was 16.
Okay.
Or 16, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
It was here I watched Matrix.
Okay.
For the first time, and I was
1998. Yeah.
And I was like, God damn, man, that's a fucking cool movie.
Yep.
And then I was like, I know, I kind of figured out, I knew how to do all those things that they were doing. So I was like, I want to do a movie, I want to do stories.
Yeah.
But I don't do Matrix kind of movies. But it really at that point when I was like, this is a great story.
Would you say that's the movie that sort of changed your life? I think because all of us are film fans, we all have this movie that you watch and then you're just inspired beyond anything. It's that's the movie that you love films all your life, but that's the movie that made you love film.
Yeah, well, I think Matrix was the introduction to it.
Okay.
Matrix was the introduction to this whole world of behind the camera and this and that and blah blah. But I think Tarantino really made me love film.
Okay.
And then I started with True Romance.
Okay. Yep.
He wrote that. I was a big fan of Tony Scott.
Yep.
But when I saw Pulp Fiction, I was like, God damn.
It's another level.
God damn, right? I was insanely nuts, and then I went on this whole trajectory of Tarantino, what he was like, and this and that and all that, and then
Kill Bill.
Kill Bill. I went backwards first, Natural Born Killers, and how he had told Oliver Stone to fuck off because he was going to change the script. Reservoir Dogs, which was great. Jackie Brown. Kill Bill then coming up, and then even till now, it still amazes me. Inglourious Basterds opening scene.
Oh, phenomenal.
And I don't know how it got into the cinemas at that time. Was Inglourious Basterds was 2006,
I think.
I don't know how it got into cinemas uncensored, and I was the only person in the cinema there watching this thing on the big screen. And I was like, whoa, that whole scene was intense. Right?
Yeah.
Tarantino, and then at the same time, P.T. Anderson and Magnolia really got me like, oh wow. Yeah.
So how did the whole BMW shorties? Because if people don't know, you are the first Malaysian BMW shorties winner.
Yes.
Yeah, and your short film was called Keyhole.
Yes.
So how? Tell us a little bit about that film, because it's a weird, and I mean this in a good way. It's a ballsy film. It's very out there. So how did the whole idea came about and like everything?
Yeah. Yes, I was the numero uno.
Yes.
I was the first. Keyhole, well, I had already started directing by that time.
Okay.
Like commercials, got my foot into commercials.
Right.
It wasn't my first short film, really,
Okay.
actually. I have a short film that I did in university, which thank God has disappeared.
Which university did you go to?
No, I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
Thank God has disappeared. Yeah, it was the theme was mobility, and I remember reading it, and I was like, what are they having a theme for? So I'm gonna do the theme, but do everything against it. So the whole premise of the guy being dead, he can't go anywhere, but he's moving, via being dollied around by other people, and it was like what being in the Keyhole feels like.
Right.
I was partying a lot back then.
Yep.
So it really does feel like what being a
Keyhole, for people who don't know, is the ketamine.
Yes.
When you take too much of ketamine and then you get into these.
So now there's a lot of science behind it.
Yeah.
And now I look at it and I was like, oh, see, it's true, because they liken it to they liken that feeling of Keyhole to what death feels like, because your brain patterns are almost the same.
Yeah, because you're pretty much paralyzed.
You're pretty much paralyzed.
People.
And you're just like dead.
Yep.
So that's what it was about.
Yeah.
And then the second one was Teddy and I, which was a little bit more executional flights.
Yep.
Yeah.
So after the short film, because a couple of days ago I interviewed Ron Polare, who is an actor in your upcoming movie Fly By Night, and also he's pretty much a veteran in the industry right now. And he was telling me, like, when people watched Keyhole back in the day, it was about 2007, more than 10 years ago, like everybody was so excited because, like, who is this Zahir Omar kid? What's this movie? And like, I can't wait to see, because Keyhole is it's unlike the regular films you see in Malaysia. Yeah. So everyone was excited to work with you, but then you sort of disappeared from the feature film. People expected you to, because a lot of people who make BMW shorties, they are like, okay, let's make a feature film now.
Yeah.
But you sort of just disappeared from that and went into commercial shoots and like maybe corporate filmmaking and all this. So like, why did you decide to do that?
I didn't deserve to do a feature film yet.
Okay.
I wasn't ready to do long form. I hadn't earned my dues, I think. So with commercials, you clock in what Braun likes to call flying hours.
Okay.
You clock in a lot of flying hours and experience with dealing with people. Because directing is not just about telling a story, it's just about managing people. Managing different type of characters and different type of personalities, then understanding equipment, understanding the tempo of the set, and reading temperatures. So I backed away because it wasn't the natural. It was the natural progression for me for what I wanted, but I was also wise enough to know that you got to earn your stripes a bit more first. You got to train before you do this. So I spent 10 years. About a good 10 years training myself to start shooting. So now once I've done this, I'm also on the trajectory of doing like one, and then I'm doing another one next year, another movie next year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're in the commercial, let's say before this, you're in the commercial shoot, you're doing all these more non like traditional films. I mean, like, you're doing more of the commercial corporate side of things and all that. It's like you said, you're earning your stripes and all that. Then what was the calling, if you can call it, that you decided, you woke up one day and decided, okay, now I'm ready, like to go back into like feature films and all this stuff.
It's the calling, and also the universe will give you shit when you're supposed to, I'm a bit, it sounds a bit woo, but the universe will give you the opportunity when you're ready.
Okay.
And you will only take it when you're ready, because it doesn't, I always say, it does, like, opportunity doesn't go in a straight line, you know? It doesn't pass you and then go away. It always comes back, goes around a circle. And when you're ready, you'll see it and you grab it. You see it coming and then you grab it.
Okay.
And then you ride the momentum. Yeah, so then that's where it is. I saw it and I was like, okay, you're ready to do it. And I know what that is, and I grabbed it and I jalan with it.
So this was how many years ago? Like when did the Fly-By-Night script come about and all that? Because just to be clear, because there's not much information out there about this movie yet. A lot of Malaysian films, like it's not like, let's say, you know, like a Hollywood movie, you just type it and like all the information is there. So this one, so we are still trying to figure things out about this movie. So you are not one of the script writers.
I am.
You are. So like a lot of sites also have Dane Syed, Ivan Yeo, Frederick Bailey as the script writers. So like, was the idea yours and then you gathered this team, or like how did it go?
It was, so Ivan was my jamming partner.
Okay.
I'm a person who's hard to understand sometimes, but if you eat banana leaf with me and we talk at the mamak shop, long enough you kind of get what I'm trying to say in terms of the theme. So I jammed with Ivan a lot during coffee shops. We had so many different stories that we were trying to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe in them. They were great stories, and you know, it's still there in the laptop. But I couldn't find the meaning that I had. There wasn't a synchronization of that until we were talking about themes of grey and white. Like, you know, like really, let's explore this. Let's explore what it means to be a bad person, really, and then these codes and all that stuff. Then he just went off. It took a week. He wrote the script. There was a script. Then after that, he passed away. We were trying to do the second draft. He passed away, which sucked. Then
sorry about that.
Yeah, and then that's fine. And then I don't know if you know Ezra Zaid.
Yes.
He and I attempted to write the second draft. But I was really bummed out about Ivan passing, so I went to Bangkok and locked myself up and just went back to the commercial, dove down to the commercial world. But at the same time, we already had gotten the grant from Finas. So Perrin, our EP, chased me down. she got a hotel room right opposite mine. And I didn't know this. We were walking down the lobby, and then the receptionist like, Kun Zahir, Talin from Planet Pictures is here. I'm like, shit, really? Where's she? She's like, opposite your room. I was like, fuck. So I went back, typed the third draft. He was like, yeah, it's about time you came back. We had gotten Frederick already to start writing the thing. Okay. So Frederick wrote 2 to 5. Okay. Frederick wrote 2 to 5. And then from 5, at the earliest stage, Aparat was involved. Okay. And their contribution is extremely valuable, because from drafts 5 to 8, I was locked in a room with Dane Syed. Okay. In a masterclass with script writing. Okay. And Dane Syed is a brilliant scriptwriter. Yeah. Brilliant scriptwriter. I mean, but his writing, his understanding of the craft is immaculate. I learned so much from him. And then after that period went over. So from drafts 8 till 14, there's 14 drafts. I wrote those 14 drafts. Which is not it's not really that easy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
You know, like if you move something, right? And if you are pedantic and you know you want to tell a good story, if you move something, everything else changes. It's like a butterfly effect. Yeah. Well, it's like it's a butterfly effect on paper. It's nuts. Yeah. Okay.
So now, tell us about Fly-By-Night. So what exactly is the movie about? As much as you can reveal, you know, what is it about? Because the trailer is really good. Yeah. But it doesn't exactly tell us the story, so to speak. We know it's about a bunch of morally ambiguous characters.
Yes. It's essentially a family drama. Okay. Right, and it's about relationships and these 4 taxi drivers. Then Tyler is on his way out. He's trying to quit game, getting too hot, but he also has to take care of his family. and that's his job, that's his duty. And then he's got a younger brother who also thinks that his job is to take care of the family by taking over the business. Being too green and too eager to prove himself to the older brother, he goes and he's just a real dick lah.
Okay.
And then he goes and gets in a real shitty situation with the wrong people.
Okay.
And at the same time, to put the pressure on, there's Kamal, which is Brown's character, and he's caught a scent of them via Silo's action, Fabian Liu's character, and Tylo, which is Sunny Pang, having to cover up the shit lah. Essentially, it's a gali lubang tutup lubang situation lah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's it. I mean,
it's interesting because there's. It reminds me a little bit about like Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, Infernal Affairs, all these type of movies. So I'm trying. Is it okay? For example, there's two kinds. Like if you look at, let's say, The Godfather, it's not necessarily about anything in terms of like there's no goal specifically within the narrative. It's more about the exploration of the family dynamics.
Yes.
Versus, let's say, Infernal Affairs or The Departed.
Yeah.
It's more like. It's about that also, character exploration, but it's more like, okay, this police is going undercover and is trying to achieve something.
Right.
So which like where does Fly By Night? Like,
it's more exploration of characters.
Okay.
It's more exploration of characters, but it's got a bit of it's got the Scorsese vibe and the look to it.
Yeah.
But also I'm like heavily influenced by Johnny To.
Okay.
I like Johnny To.
Yep.
But it's not a conventional one stream, one character story for this one.
Okay. So now in the trailer, what I found really interesting about it is the character exploration that it seems that you're gonna do, and also that it's not trying to be clean. It's not trying to be mainstream. It's a very dirty movie. It's a very vulgar. It's filled with morally ambiguous characters, and so this tone gets me excited. And a lot of people have been praising that tone. But so this movie feels like it's crafted for a global audience. It's something that it has made its run in the international circuit and all that. And a lot of people have been praising it. But when it comes to Malaysia, you run into this. It can be a barrier, and this barrier is called LPF. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing or whatever. It's more like I want to know how much are Malaysian audiences going to be able to see of the full film, or did you have to leave a lot of it on the censor floor?
I had 13 points to take out.
Okay.
It's also, like I said again, there's the timing and the universe and like the whole thing. We started shooting 10 years after Keyhole, right? And then on that year itself, we changed government.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
And then LPF and everybody just kind of like, whew, okay, now we can breathe and not be assholes.
Okay.
Yeah, we only had 13 points.
Okay, that's good.
So
that's
for
good.
me, the earlier point of the global audience, yeah.
Yes.
But that was what was always brought up with the team.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing a good Malaysian film.
Yeah.
We are doing a good film.
Period. Yeah.
That's done by Malaysians.
Yes.
That's all. That's where you set out. That's why you set out to go.
Yeah.
Right. You just do a good film, tell a good story, and you tell a good story. It should be universal.
Right.
You take this movie, you put it in Ukraine, you change the language, you change the actors, same story still applies.
Yes.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It doesn't matter what's the genre, how you change it. So that's what we set out to do lah. And LPF. So when LPF gave us those 13 points, replaced the shots. Shifted the in and out, still the same story.
Yeah.
You know, this is not the violence. It's not a story that's built around violence. The violence is necessary for the scene,
for the characters, and it's not just sensationalizing.
Yeah, and so they watched it and they're like, okay, justified. Okay, fine. Yeah, and they were really cool guys too. They're really cool guys.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, they were
because
really
I think
cool
sometimes they get a bad rap, maybe because of how they had to be in the previous government or not to bring.
I think it's also like the social media thing, the PR thing, whatever it is, because they were like, do you mind if you take this scene out? Is that okay? And I was like, Yeah, okay. Since you asked nicely, sure, man. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like even with the whole, because Bron's character, if I'm not mistaken, will be playing a sort of not a corrupt cop, but like a like a cop that is, his morals are not very centered. Like he has his own ideals. Like he thinks this is right and this is right, and he's gonna go whatever the means necessary to get it done. So was that like, because I feel like sometimes the government or whatever can be a bit strict when it comes to portrayal of cops and all that.
That was big. That was the issue. That was one of like 10 of the 13 points was brought.
That. Okay.
Or the shit that was said to brought.
Okay.
But and then for me again, I mean, what are you gonna do? You're having a conversation and then they say bleep or take the word out.
Yeah.
But it's tense, right? Let's say you and me were fighting.
Yep.
And then suddenly in the scene we're fighting and we'll say, you know what, I'm gonna come to the house and I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
The audience knows what the guy just said.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter if I take out the sound, they know what he's gonna say. So
it's okay.
Yeah, I mean it sucks, but
and this leads into another question where, because I think the landscape is changing a little bit for the better, because we are starting to have like platforms like Netflix and all that starting to grow in popularity even in Malaysia. And like for example, like One Tu Jaga, what we saw in theaters was a milder version of what we have on Netflix.
Yes.
So will this, like, do you all have any deals worked out with any streaming platforms, or are you allowed to disclose anything?
We can talk, we're in discussions.
Okay.
But we will cross that line. Right now, the first line we need to cross is to get past week 2 in the cinemas, and then we can start releasing it. But if it were to come out in anywhere else except the cinema, it would be the international version.
Right. Yes.
Which has different slightly different scoring. It's got no censorship.
Yes.
Some of the scenes are different.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a lot more blood.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. Because you're looking forward. But this is a good start, compared to what our country allowed us to see in the big screens 10 years ago compared to now. I think they are slowly becoming more liberal and all that. So small baby steps, we have to keep pushing. And
we in the past 2-3 years, we've progressed in cinema so much. Because I travel outside a lot. I work in Indonesia, in Bangkok, Singapore. You take a stone and you throw, you surely hit. There's so many Malaysian directors out there that are not here. Malaysian online artists, 3D artists, there's so many talented people that have just gone packet and left. Right? I think that with this industry kicking off, they're gonna come back and you're gonna see a lot more good shit.
Okay, because it has been the number of good shit in the past 2 years has been, compared to like, let's say the 10 years before that and all, it has been increasing.
And the lines are being blurred now. So the lines between cinema and production houses, the lines between, like, for example, our movie is distributed by Scope.
Okay.
Scope, who did like Munafik. Scope, who did Mystery Delilah. This is a Chinese movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, whoa, that's like really weird and cool at the same time, this whole collaboration of it. So, and then we have Jazzy Group also, who they invested in One Tu Jaga.
One Tu Jaga, correct.
So that's a lot of crossing, which is pretty cool.
Do you think like Malaysia, it's interesting, but it's also a very tricky market to hit like the local crowd? For example, because like, let's say if you take like US, Indonesia and all that, like everyone has that sort of universal language. Is like whether if you grew up as if you're a Chinese Indonesian, you're still an Indonesian in a sense. And so the movies that come out are all in Indonesian language. In US, it's all English and stuff like that, so on and so forth. In Thailand, it's all Thai. But I think in Malaysia, because like a lot of people still want to make like Chinese movies, Malay movies, Tamil movies, and this, and then like you have these people who want to make English movies, and then the crowd, the general people are like, why would I watch a Malaysian English movie when I can watch a Hollywood English movie? Why would I watch a Malaysian Tamil movie when I can watch like what's coming out from India and all with the bombastic budgets and everything? Same with Chinese movies. There's like Jackie Chan and all this coming from Hong Kong and all these kind of things. So how do you navigate through this landscape Like how do you tap into like a demography and stuff like that?
Oh shit, you don't even try go and tap into the demography. You just, like I said again, tap into the psychography of it.
Okay.
The mental state of it. Like I said again, hey dude, you know I don't speak a word of Chinese. This film is 75% Mandarin.
Yeah.
And they ask me, how do I know when I'm doing workshops? And I'm like, I don't believe you. They're like, I say I'll call cut. And then I was like, you're not saying it right. And then they were like, how do you know? I was like, because I don't believe you.
Right.
Even though you're saying it in Mandarin, I don't believe you. I don't understand you, but I don't feel you. That's a big problem right there. So we're having the workshops, then we redo the scripts and all that stuff.
Right.
So I mean, how do you do it? Except for me, pet peeve is if you shoot in English lah.
Yeah, because that becomes a huge. It's not a
You
problem.
can drop in English, but if you're telling it on a Rakyat level, right? Even the Mandarin that was being spoken. Now I speak Mandarin. Before that I didn't, but now I speak I speak the Mandarin the length of the movie lah. I can only say the words in the movie. But even the Mandarin that we had in Fly By Night, the people from Macau or the non-Malaysian Chinese couldn't understand it because our Mandarin is very Malaysian Mandarin. You know, it's very campur.
Yeah, with the slang and all that street slang.
And then suddenly they break into speaking Malay because the cop's Malay.
Yeah.
Right? And then when the cop speaks to the Dato', he speaks in English.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's how it works here. So you're just trying to keep it real to the context of the story lah. Okay. I think if you try and think about the demographic before trying to think of a good story,
that's how you lose out.
Yeah, because the script was written in English.
Okay.
It was never going to be done in English. It was at one point going to be done in English, but I didn't think about the language until maybe draft 7 or 8.
Okay.
When I got a friend of mine from Hong Kong to translate it, it was supposed to be Cantonese, and then the last 2 drafts we changed it to Mandarin. Still the same story though.
Yeah.
Still the same things. As long as I'm honest with my actors about what I want, you know, and say these certain things a certain way. This word I need you to say because this word is going to link back to the next scene. Or they're like, okay, fine. Then I was like, I give you the freedom to do the rest. My main thing is always that you can ask them is like, I will tell you, I don't believe you. If I don't believe you, we can't move on from this thing.
Yeah, because like, you know, when the audience watching is going to be multiple races and everything, you know, you have to buy the emotion that is channeled. Yeah. So how you work with a lot of, you're not a rookie, but in terms of, let's say, the feature film industry, like compared to, let's say, like Braun and like some of the actors in the movie and all that, like you're sort of like in that sense you're the rookie in that sense.
Yes.
So how does it feel to be able to direct all these people, and what was it like working with all of them?
I mean, it was amazing. It was super cool. Braun is the first guy I approached.
Yeah.
Braun and Sunny were the first people I approached.
Okay.
And Braun said yes almost instantly.
Yeah.
Which was strange because I didn't know he knew what Keyhole was.
Okay.
So there was maybe the infamous first BMW shorties guy who came and then just disappeared.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. Sunny.
Another veteran.
Sunny, another veteran. We called him down. You know, it was the first draft that Ivan wrote was a really good first draft.
Okay.
It was easy to sell it to them. Ivan was an amazing writer. He'd write short stories, he'd write long form. He's amazing. So it was an easy sell. It was a really easy sell for them. I think the rest was like finding Fabian was by accident. We were casting for 2 years. We had somebody else for Jared. Before Frederick came in. But Frederick is fucking insane. That guy is a cold. He's insane. But yeah, everything fell in place. We were trying to find Rianne for the longest time.
Okay.
And some decisions were made for, you know, some decisions were made with producers' calls and stuff like that. But you know, it all worked out for the best. It all really worked out for the best. Ruby, who is she's famous from the Chinese side, the Chinese industry. She used to do hip hop songs. I'm like, well, she's great in that movie. Yeah, you watch out for her. She's got 2 scenes, but those 2 scenes were crazy, insane.
And I think a lot of them would be excited to, like, you know, just the general rumblings to work in a movie like this, because it's like you said, the new sort of, you can't call it a new age yet, but there's that wind of change in the industry, you know, the more challenging roles like this.
Masuk, like, and it is a challenging role that is not bound by a certain confinement of a language-based drama. They read the script, casting, and I was like, okay, here, read the script. Listen. I was like, hey, this one sounds, do you speak like this at home?
Yeah.
They're like, no, we say this instead of this.
Yeah.
So I was like, then speak like how you speak at home. Speak like how you... They're like, oh, can we do that? I'm like, just do whatever you want to do, whatever that's natural.
Yeah.
Because there's like the drama language Mandarin, right? And then there's the street Mandarin. I was like, just do the street stuff. And that sounded... So when my Chinese friends saw it, and they're like, oh, this sounds legit.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing that we're trying to achieve.
Okay, so before I let you go, another question. So on set, you're dealing with a lot of personalities and everything.
Yeah.
So what sort of a director are you? Are you the kind, like, you hear stories about directors flinging chairs at people? I mean, it's not wrong or whatever, but you know, like, there's certain people who have the certain style. Are you like the one that's just a bro with everyone? Or like, how do you like manage and handle, like, what's your style?
First of all, flinging chair directors, I used to AD for them, they're fucking assholes.
Yeah.
You work there are 2 ways to work. People work for you because they love you, and people work for you because they fear you. I like to take the love route.
Yeah.
But each actor, cast, crew, DOP, producer all have different personalities, and you need to manage them differently. The main thing is that they need to buy into your vision, and they need to know that you are headed that direction. And it's okay to say sometimes, I don't know the specific coordinates, but we're going that way. Just hop on the bus. Everybody get on the bus, and let's go. And on this bus, you can do whatever you want, but you have to get on the bus with me.
Yeah.
And once you're on the bus, then it's a lot more easier for you to follow my tempo, because I actually have a very specific vision of what I want. I'm very open to discussion. But you need to be in line with me lah. Okay. So I wouldn't say I'm strict. I mean, I'm quite friendly. I like to joke around.
Yeah.
And you know, with seasoned actors, you can talk to them straight up. Like, okay, I need you to do this. You don't have to go too deep. With the younger ones, you need to hold their hands a little bit. You know, and let them go method if they want to go method, and layan that methodness and stuff like that. But you gotta give everybody the space to perform at the optimum level. Yeah.
Okay. And so just another thing, it's what's the excitement or the expectation or nervousness on you and your team's end, and what's your expectations for Fly By Night?
Man.
Like what do you hope the audience because I'm guessing this is going to be an 18.
No, it's 13, man.
It's 13, okay.
It's 13.
Okay.
Yeah. I really hope people enjoy it. I really hope they see the possibilities of what can be done here.
Okay.
And then also I hope in the non I don't know how to say it, but I hope, like, you know, everybody goes and watches this, you know, so it doesn't have to be a race specific movie per se. It's just a good movie. Again, like I said, you go back to the set. I mean, walked on the set, goosebumps, because you know you have Malay director, Malay Chinese cast, Malay crew, you know, the Indian crew, and everybody is like just there having a fucking good time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hope they go there and they watch it and they have a good time, man. And I hope it reaches out to other people, because there are parts where the Chinese mass will watch it, and then there's Malay language, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, and then suddenly it doesn't become a Chinese movie.
Yep. It becomes a Malaysian
movie and everybody can watch it. And I really would like that to happen.
Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming
thanks,
on board.
Man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Really looking forward to watching
It's a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Be sure to catch Fly By Night in cinemas April 11th.